Alright, we got Rusviet. Rusviet's always fun. What board are we gonna get? Agricultural. Nordic Mechanical. There we are at Agricultural. Gawa's got Industrial. So we gotta watch out. Make sure they don't rush us. And we go last. Alright. The Gawa's got the Industrial board. Their coin comes from upgrades and from making mechs. They don't get much out of enlist, which is a big drawback to the Industrial board. Wow, it goes from Tagawa straight to Albion. No Crimea, no Polania, no Saxony. Nordic is here sandwiched in right between us. Albion's laying early claim to the village in case Nordic gets some ideas. What's Nordic do with this? Not going to get on metal right away, which is a little bit surprising. I'm going to go ahead and start with a produce. Gawa's got 2 of the oil they need for an upgrade. So they're probably going to produce. Yeah, there it is. King of the Hill is the objective that we're going to go for. Control the factory at the end of your turn and have the highest power of any player. It's going to be a doable objective for us in this case because our bolster is over our enlist, which we're going to want to do several times. Gawa's bolsters over their upgrade. They start significantly behind us in power. Albion's is above their build, and they start forever away from wood. So they're probably not going to have a ton of power in this game. Nordic might give us a run for our money, but we'll see how it goes. Alright, we're going to go with our second produce here. The combat cards are good. That's going to help. How are you doing tonight? Got the stream up on Twitch, YouTube, and for the first time, Mixer. Gawa's got the industrial board. They're going for that first upgrade and the coin that goes with it. They're going to upgrade their upgrades, so they're planning on getting a lot of upgrades in this game. So we have King of the Hill, control the factory at the end of your turn and have the highest power of any player. We're not excited that Tagawa seems to be going for that. They might challenge us for our power, although we do have an advantage because we start with 3 and they start with 0. So Albion just moved, right? So he probably takes the second option, pays $2, gets 3 food, and then enlists. What I would think he would do. You always want to look, see if you can get something for that bottom row action that's under what you just did. Usually under your movement, get an encounter. because you have to move to get to the encounter. Okay, let's see here. We're going to produce for a third time. Go ahead and get our worker start. So with the agricultural board, you want to get at least one upgrade. And you want to get one upgrade for a couple reasons. One reason is that this right here, this food, this is 3 times 4 actions, which is 12 food. Well, how many workers are we going to have here to take the food? Well, we're going to have 7. So we need it to cost less than this. We need it to cost 2. Because what we're going to do this turn is we're going to trade, and we're going to get our 4th metal, and we're going to get 1 food. And then that will let us produce once, get 7 more food, and sit on 8 food. But we need to upgrade this as well. So this turn we'll go ahead and get our mech, and we'll set ourselves up to start getting enlists. Terry Che, someone goes for the worker star early should the others think that they want to rush the game. Yes and no. So if you see the worker star early, there's a good chance someone wants to rush the game. And that's because it's harder to get into higher tiers of popularity when you're paying popularity to produce, right? So in that sense, yes. In another sense, getting to 8 workers may just mean that somebody is trying to spread out. So for instance, you see Albion go to 8 workers a lot, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to rush the game. What it may mean is they're going to try to stall the game. Because those are your 2 options in this game, right? You have to rush or you have to stall. If you rush, you're trying to end it quickly and just have the most points and get 50, 60 points somewhere in there and in the game. If you're trying to stall the game, what you're trying to do is you're trying to get far enough ahead that no one can pass you up. So there's definitely a good chance if someone goes to 8 workers early that they're trying to rush the game. But it's kind of faction dependent. It's probably true if you're looking at Rusviet or Crimea, but it's less likely to be true if you're talking about Albion or Tagawa. In those cases, the factions are, because those factions can't rush the game pretty well, they might still go to 8 workers, but it's more likely to be an effort to stall the game and try to stay far enough ahead that no one can end it. Gawa's going pretty slowly with their mech creation, so we don't have to worry about them that much. Let's see what Nordic does here. Because they've moved these workers up to here, and we want to go for the farm. So how far away are they from getting a mech? Significantly still. We said we needed some oil. Because we need that upgrade. We need to upgrade our bolster and make our enlist cheaper so that this food plus 7 more is enough for us to get 4 enlists without having to spend multiple turns producing. Let's see, Tagawa looks like they're going for another upgrade. What's their power situation? They're at 5 power. We're only at 2, but we're going to start catching that in a few turns here. Let's see if we see Nordic trade for a few food here. Or excuse me, a few metal. See if they're going to turn around immediately and try to get one of their mechs. Yep. Alright. We're going to take both these farms and see if Nordic's willing to put his mech up here or if he wants to start bringing his workers back. Okay. This is the agricultural board. We start with 4 popularity. This is the rush the game option, but I get a lot of coin out of these in lists, and I'm going for the power star with the agricultural board because I'm going to use this bolster 4 different times. So I don't want to give up the coin of this bottom row action and give up my shot at the power star to speed up the game a turn. That's not going to help me. I'm going to get all the food I need like we talked about, so I'm going to go for $2 and 1 popularity because that gives me 2 popularity away from the next tier. I'm going to get 2 popularity out of my enlist bonus, so I'll be at 7. Whether I can hold at 7 is another question because I may have to bump some workers later on, but it's nice to get to 7. At least have the option of getting to tier 2 popularity. So Tagawa can get an enlist here. He's going to move instead. So what's going on with Albion here? Albion's in a position to produce again and go to the worker star and then place a mech. Now whether they want to do that, question. If they don't do this, Nordic forgot his wood and left it here. Now he can't even spend it if he wants to. He did go for 8 workers. See, Albion's probably not going to rush the game. Albion's probably getting 8 workers so he can spread out. Take advantage of these flag tokens to double individual territory bonuses. Try to catch me and stay ahead. Here's the question. Does Nordic put his mech right here? No. He's going to move first. That's good for us because we're going to produce this turn, and it's after this turn that we're going to be at our most vulnerable. Remember what I said about tier 2 popularity? We're going to be spending popularity right here, so we're only going to get to 6. Going to need this encounter to get ourselves to 7. Now we have 8 food. That's enough for 4 enlists. Terry, you'll miss 7 because you have to do 1 more produce, maybe more if you want max. Yeah, you're right about that. I'm planning on, at least we'll see how the game goes, but there's a good chance that I might bring this character back down to this encounter. And you're guaranteed at least 1 popularity for each encounter. So we'll see. If I don't need a popularity to win the game, I may forego that in favor of doing something else. But I've got this encounter right here to get me to tier 2 if I so choose. But you're right, I'm going to be sitting at 6 after my enlistment. Albion's starting to spread out here. He's going to be making a lot of resources. going to be making food for his enlist. And with that innovative board, he's going for those high coin upgrades. Nordic wants nothing to do with us over here. Good for us. Let's go combat cards first. Our combat cards are pretty good, and no one's really in a position to attack us right now. We feel pretty secure. The Gawa still hasn't gotten his encounter in turn 9. He does have one enlist, 2 upgrades. He's sitting on 7 power. It's going to take us a few more turns to catch him. We got to produce, probably coming out of Albion, get some resources on the ground. Oh boy, he's got a bunch of workers up there now. No one seems eager to make mechs yet. The guy was going for upgrades. Albion's the most spread out of anybody, so he might be ahead right now. It's close. What do we got coming from Tagawa? Another produce? No, he's going to trade. Set himself up for another upgrade. Get 4 more power. Albion's got a move incoming, right? Because they want to spend that food they just got. You gonna drop a worker here and then move to the factory? No. Left a lot of oil unprotected. I wonder if he meant to do that. Okay, we're not really in a position to get the speed mech yet. Of course we can't. Hey, Pfeiffer. How's it going tonight? First game, Rusviet Agricultural. Just trying to see what we can do with it. Gawa may be getting ready to get some of their mechs. And this is Twitch chat instead. How's your day, Pfeiffer? Everyone staying inside to avoid the virus? Yeah, definitely. Talk overlays sometime. Oh, nice. My in real life board game night is probably on hiatus until everybody decides we're not worried about the coronavirus again. I like Dominion. Dominion's a fun game. Dominion isn't really one of the games I've studied, but I definitely played it casually and enjoyed it a lot. We're putting up a website soon with information about online board game sites. Oh, that's great. I'll have to check it out. Yeah, I used the tabletop simulator Scythe last night for the first time. It's different. Graphics are definitely better. It's more resource intensive on the computer, but it's a little cumbersome. All right, man. We'll talk about it sometime. Yeah, it took fiddling with my settings a good bit to get the camera to work. All right, 2 stars this turn. How are we doing score-wise? We're up, but not by a lot. It's our coin advantage that's helping us. Albion's spread out quite a bit. Yeah, I'm actually using a laptop to stream it. My laptop kind of hates me because of it, but it gets the job done. Okay, so what are we trying to do here now? We're not too worried about Tagawa at this point. Tagawa didn't play to rush us and pressure us, so they didn't go for this encounter. They didn't go to push our worker there. We're not that worried about Tagawa here. Nordic's pinned in. They just have their seaworthy mech, that's it. They haven't really asserted themselves and grabbed territory on either side. So Albion's our competition in this game. So our next goal is, now that we've got the worker star and the enlist star and the power star, is we want to get at least one more mech here. And we want to get our objective. We're up to 7 combat cards, which should be enough. We've got to get to the factory. So we're going to make some oil. Let ourselves upgrade and make our mechs a little bit cheaper. Okay, round 13, Tagawa's finally got his encounter. However, I see the test on stream in here. Yeah, it looked like one comment got stuck, so I just put a comment in to see if it got the chat going again. They're supposed to fade out after about 15 seconds, the chat. How much power does Albion have here? Very little. It's going to be hard to challenge us for any territory. He still doesn't even have combat cards. Despite getting 2 enlists, he hasn't chosen to get the combat card enlist. What stars are we going to get? We're pretty far away from the mech star, but we can get a couple combats without much trouble. And if we can get to the factory, we can get our objective star. Our turn. Get ourselves a third move. We can go for this encounter after we get this second mech. But Albion's keeping workers with the mechs, so tier 2 is a pipe dream at this point. Where's Tagawa on this scoreboard? Trailing substantially. Like I said earlier, it's just us and Albion. Pipe dream or a fantasy. That's nice. I like that. Tagawa is a fantasy. Hey Rail, how's it going tonight? Doing swell, that's great. Azor said you guys landed on, for the tournament, doing 4 draws instead of 5. Hurrah for swellness. Well, we got one move to make a mech. And then if Albion doesn't get some combat cards here soon, they're going to make it easy on us. There's Nordic finally putting get our speed mech here. Albion can go for their enlist next turn and finally get some combat cards. Which mechs do they have? They have shields, so they'll gain 2 power. Because what we need to do is we need to take this factory and take this tundra, and after we win 2 battles, still have more power than Albion. So we're going to boost them to 6, 8. And we have 16 to work with. See if they move here. I think they probably will. They didn't move. It's probably game, guys. Oh no. Huh. Nordic wants in on that factory. That's okay though. We'll just boot Nordic. Alright, we're glad Nordic spent a lot of power. That's for sure. Because it was going to be a little tough to have more power than both of those guys if we had to throw a lot of power to beat Nordic. So we can beat Nordic just throwing our 5 card, and we can beat Albion by throwing a 4 plus using 3 power, which gives us by far the most power on the board. It's going to give us 2 combat stars and our objective star. Now we just got to click the right buttons, make sure we do it. We can end this game right here in round 15. All right, we'll move incoming. And does it matter? We'll go here since there's a resource here as opposed to over here. There's no flag token in either spot. And just in case we get a encounter that gives us 2 popularity, let's do the factory first. Use our 5 there and keep our power. It's not going to throw anything at all. Check the score. We're well ahead. He's going to have 9 power, and there's a good chance he won't throw any of it. Or just throws 1. Nope, all of it. All right, we got our encounter. That oil doesn't matter. He's got an even number of resources, and we don't have any other resources to match with it. Already have all of those. 1 popularity just gives us to 6, and that does nothing, so might as well pay 2 popularity to get 4 metal, because that's going to give us 2 more points. And Gawa's got 16 power, guys. Gawa's got 16 power. We don't get King of the Hill. Next turn. Thought I was going crazy there for a minute. There it is. Tagawa's got the power star. Go figure. So it's not going to be 15 turns, because we had to spend some of that power to get the combat stars. Tagawa's got another building incoming. He's spreading out, try to maximize his points. Look at that! If we hadn't spent that popularity on the metal, we'd be at tier 2 right now. Right? We'd taken the first option and gotten a popularity instead of spending 2. That's a total of 3. Hindsight, though. Gawa cracked 30. Beat Albion substantially. Albion left the game after the double combat loss. The innovative board's a good board. Maybe the best board. Alright, let's game. That is agricultural Rusviet in 16 turns. We almost pulled out 15, but Tagawa had to go get the power star on us. All right, cue another one up.